What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. As you can see in the title and thumbnail, today we're going to talk about potential United States men's national team transfers that could happen this summer or the winter, and even confirmed transfers that are happening as we speak of recording. We're going to start off with the goalkeeper, Matt Turner. Matt Turner, of course, got his move to Arsenal last year. He went to Arsenal to get better as a player, really get better on the ball, to get more technically, and he got some game time in some Europa League games, some cup games. But I think it's now time for Matt Turner to get his move, whether it's permanent or loaned out from Arsenal, because with Arsenal having Champions League, his game time is going to be very limited, because we know Aaron Ramsdale is going to be the first choice both in the Premier League and the Champions League, so he would only get FA Cup and Carabao Cup games. So I think it would make the most sense if Matt Turner went to Brentford. Why Brentford, you may ask? Because David Raya is probably going to leave for Tottenham Hotspur, so Brentford are going to be looking for a goalkeeper, and I think Matt Turner could slip in there very, very comfortably. He's a very good and solid goalkeeper. I think he would benefit at Brentford getting consistent game time in the Prem, maybe even some more cup games with them. And I really think Matt Turner going to Brentford makes a lot of sense. Now we're going to go with a fullback. We're going to go with Serginho Dest. Of course, Serginho Dest didn't have the most successful loan period with AC Milan this past season. Only got a handful of appearances from Barca. And I don't think he's going to return to Barca. I think Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Barca are going to look for another right back. So that means Serginho Dest is going to be on the move. And I think what the rumors have been saying, he's going to go to the Bundesliga and play for Union Berlin. And I think that's a great move for Serginho Dest, honestly. Serginho Dest and Union Berlin. I mean, Union Berlin qualified for the Champions League. He has a teammate there with the USA, Jordan Pefok, he already knows. And I think the way Union Berlin play, which is very counterattack, good attacking football, who scores a lot of goals, I think this is a very, very good move for Serginho Dest if he does end up going there. And I think the Bundesliga fits his style of play as well. He's a very technical player, very skillful player. And I think he'll do really, really well in the Bundesliga, especially at Union Berlin with Champions League this year. I think it's a very, very smart move. Now, the next player we're going to talk about is Miles Robinson. Miles Robinson, the 25-year-old center back for Atlanta United, who suffered from an Achilles injury last season, who missed the majority of the MLS season, and unfortunately missed the World Cup with USA, who is now back in the team and is now one of the first choice center backs for USA. And he's been absolutely superb since he's come back from his injury. And I think a move that makes a lot of sense for Miles Robinson is Swansea City. Why Swansea City, you may ask? Because Swansea City were not very far off from a playoff position last year in the Championship to get to the Premier League. They had 66 points, 68 goals, but conceded 64. So just about a goal every single game. And Miles Robinson can bring so much to Swansea City. He's very physical, he's very strong, he's very fast, and he's a reliable defender. And why also Swansea? Because it has American ownership, so it makes a lot of sense for Miles Robinson to go there. I mean, he can go overseas, get some even more experience in a better league, and play for a club that really supports the American system in the MLS. So I think Miles Robinson going to Swansea City is a great move for him if he can go anywhere. Now, the next player we're going to talk about is Yunus Musa. Now, we kind of already know Yunus Musa is confirmed to leave Valencia this season after struggling to stay safe, because Valencia almost got relegated, and Yunus Musa is one of the midfielders and one of the USA players who is on the move this summer. It's been confirmed basically. Now it's just about who is he going to. There's been a lot of rumors, and the one that's strongly linked the most right now is Sassuolo in Serie A. I don't know too much about Sassuolo, honestly, in the Serie A, but I thought of another move for Yunus Musa that I think makes a lot of sense is Brighton. Brighton makes a lot of sense. With Moises Caicedo probably going to Chelsea as things seem right now, they're going to have them open midfield position. I think Yunus Musa is honestly a perfect replacement. Yunus Musa, we know, who is a very box-to-box. He is very physical. He's very fast. He can pass the ball. He's got good awareness. And he's played in England before with the academy at Arsenal. So Yunus Musa going to Brighton could really make him stand out in a very good team. I think Yunus Musa will excel at Brighton if he goes there, and I think he is the perfect replacement for Brighton in the way they play. And with them playing in Europe next season in Europa League, he'll get plenty of opportunities in game time, and he's still so young. And I think Brighton could be the move that helps him get that big money move somewhere else, whether it's in Italy or a higher up club in the Premier League. I think Yunus Musa going to Brighton would be amazing. Now, the next player we're going to talk about is one that it was kind of hard to find links to, really, and it's Weston McKennie. The only transfer link he has around him right now is going to Galatasaray for a swap deal for Zaniolo going to Juventus and him going to Galatasaray in Turkey. I don't like that move personally, and I'm not going to use that one for the video either that I'm doing. But I think a move for Weston McKennie that makes a lot of sense to me, and it's been rumored way before, is Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur, of course, struggled last season under Antonio Conte and having interim managers. They need a rebuild, and I think in that midfield is where they lack a little bit of quality, and I think Weston McKennie fits the Tottenham Hotspur play style really well with a box-to-box, a midfielder who likes to go forward as well. I think Weston McKennie could really excel at Tottenham Hotspur, and he's still playing in the Premier League after having so much hate from Leeds fans because he didn't try hard enough. He was overweight. I think a move to Spurs makes a lot of sense, and Juventus can get a decent price out of him, I'm sure, which I think Weston McKennie deserves a big move somewhere in a higher up club, just like he did at Juventus. I thought the Leeds one was a very poor move on his part, but I think him going to Tottenham Hotspur would be a great move for Weston McKennie, and hopefully we get to see a move like that rather than him going to Turkey. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is his midfield partner, and that is Tyler Adams. It is very, very, very strongly linked right now that Tyler Adams will be leaving Leeds United after being relegated. And Tyler Adams, who was probably one of the, if not the best player Leeds had this past season in their relegation season back in the Championship. And Tyler Adams, of course, has way too much quality to be playing in the Championship, and he is strongly linked right now with Arsenal to replace Thomas Partey, who could be going out to Saudi Arabia or even Italy. Tyler Adams, Arsenal have been monitoring him for years, even when he was at RB Leipzig. But will he play as that center defensive midfielder? Who knows? He was also linked to play for Arsenal as a right wing back, which I don't like that personally, but we know he's capable of it with his defensive quality, and he's not really a midfielder who goes forward a lot, but I think him going to Arsenal would make a lot of sense. I mean, with Arsenal being in the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cups, and the Carabao Cups, there will be opportunities for him to play, and if Thomas Partey exits, that could be a very, very key position they need to bring in. If they don't bring in Declan Rice and they need to get someone in quick with a cheap price, I think Tyler Adams would be the perfect slot for him to go there and play for a big team and get a lot more experience and hopefully stand out in a very, very good Arsenal team right now. Now, the next player we're going to talk about is Captain America himself, Christian Pulisic. And Christian Pulisic, as a Chelsea fan, as a USA fan, as a Pulisic fan, he needs to leave Chelsea. And the move that is heavily linked with him right now is AC Milan in Italy in the Serie A. I think that's a great move for Pulisic. I think he needs to go to a different league and play somewhere where he will be a very key asset to them and play a lot, because we've seen Christian Pulisic when he does play, he plays in a position that's not even in his best suited with his capabilities. Like, he's been playing right wing back for Chelsea a lot, or a deeper lined winger who isn't getting enough going forward. And then the very next week, you might not see him play at all. So he needs to go somewhere where he'll get consistent minutes and he'll play a lot in the Serie A. He'll get Champions League, he'll get cup games, and he will be the perfect replacement for Brahim Diaz, who, of course, Real Madrid decided to keep and not sell him to AC Milan or loan him back out. And I think Christian Pulisic is that perfect replacement. He could play as a 10, he could play as a winger. He's very, very good on the ball. He can find a pass and he can score a lot of goals, and that's exactly what Christian Pulisic needs. As you can see, when he's with the USA, he's the man. He scores, he sets up his teammates. He is a very, very good player who deserves minutes and deserves to play in the positions that is best suited to his skill and his ability, and AC Milan will be the perfect move for him, and I hope he gets it. As I said, as a Chelsea and Pulisic fan myself, I think he needs this move more than ever, especially now with these major tournaments coming up. Now, the next person we're going to talk about is a confirmed move per Fabrizio Romano, is Timothy Weah going to Juventus. That is a great move from Timothy Weah for only 12 mil as well for Juventus to pay Lille. Timothy Weah is going to get a lot of playing time. Juventus are going to be in the Europa League next season, but Timothy Weah is a very versatile and well-rounded player to have in a Juventus team that need a rebuild as well. And I think he's going to be the replacement for Juan Cuadrado. We've seen Juan Cuadrado play as a wing back, a right back, a left back, and a winger with Juventus, and Timothy Weah could play all that. Of course, a lot of USA fans, including myself, like to see Timothy Weah play up top as a winger or even as a 9 if possible. But Timothy Weah has so much quality he can bring into any team, really. He's so versatile and plays any position you put him in, and he will give you 100%, and he will give you a very, very good performance no matter what. Whether it's a win or loss, he will be one of your most consistent players in the team. And him going to Serie A to get better, to have better quality, to get into a bigger league, play against better players, with the 2026 World Cup coming around the corner in the Copa America as well. Timothy Weah, this is a great move for him, and I'm so happy to see him play for a big team like Juventus. Now, for the last two players we're going to talk about, it is our strikers. And the first one we're going to talk about is Ricardo Pepi, and he is confirmed per Fabrizio Romano. He is going to PSV. That is the perfect move for Ricardo Pepi. After having a very, very bad spell at Augsburg that just didn't work out for him, then he got loaned out to Groningen in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands and absolutely killed it. Despite the team getting relegated, he was their best player. He scored a majority of the goals, and now he's going to a team who is playing in the Champions League, and he will get the best development possible under a good team who is known for creating and helping developing young players such as Ricardo Pepi. And I think he is going to excel at PSV. He is going to score so many goals, and then he'll get his big move somewhere else, whether it's in the Serie A or back in the Bundesliga for a better team or even the Premier League. I think this is the best move out of all of them that have confirmed and linked right now is Ricardo Pepi going to PSV. And with Balogun coming in, he's going to need to be in a team where he's going to get a lot of minutes and score a bunch of goals. And this is the best opportunity for Pepi to prove himself, especially with Greg Berhalter coming back. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen my video on Greg Berhalter, I will leave a link in the description. But as I said, Ricardo Pepi, I think this is the best move out of any links and transfers we're going to have this summer for USA players. This is the best possible one in my opinion. Maybe the Timothy Weah one, but Ricardo Pepi going to PSV is a very, very great move. It's a 10 out of 10 move. I can't really complain about it, and I don't think anyone can. Now, the last player we're talking about is our other striker, the new USA striker, Florent Balogun, who scored his first goal in the Nations League final against Canada. Florent Balogun, who is confirmed he's not going back on loan from Arsenal, and he's most likely to leave Arsenal because he's not going to be the number one with Gabriel Jesus being there. He would be a rotational player. He doesn't want to be a rotational player. He wants to be the guy up front. And I have two teams that make sense for him, in my opinion. I think if he wants to stay in the Premier League, West Ham United. West Ham United, they need a goal scorer. Declan Rice is leaving. They're going to concede a lot more goals, so they're going to need to score more goals, and they don't really have a goal scorer. They brought in Skamaka last year, who, in all fairness, they didn't play him to the best of his ability either. They really didn't use his skill level to the best of the team. But I think Florent Balogun, if he wants to stay in the Premier League or in England, he needs to go to a team like West Ham where he'll be the consistent striker that plays every single game and score all the goals, especially with players like Paqueta and Jared Bowen who will create chances. And Balogun could be a very, very strong contender for scoring 10 to 15 goals if he goes to West Ham. And the other team is the one that he's linked to is AC Milan. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really want him going to AC Milan because I think he'll be a rotational player. But with Giroud aging, you never know. In my opinion, I think the Balogun to West Ham move makes more sense despite the rumors with AC Milan. I think Balogun should go to West Ham personally. Anyways, guys, that is all I have for you today. Those are the only players I'm talking about. I left out the ones like the Reynas and the Brendan Aaronsons on purpose because I think Reyna's going to stay, and Brendan Aronson, who's had a lackluster season, wasn't really worth talking about too much. But that is all I have for you guys today. If you missed my last few videos, I will leave links in the description below, so please go check them out. Subscribe if you haven't already and like the video. And let me know what transfers you would like to see this summer and even maybe next winter for the USA players that we currently have. Let me know in the comments, guys. I would love to have a conversation. And I will also leave my socials in the description below as well that we could talk about and have a conversation. As always, that is all I have for you guys today. And I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be a Charlotte FC vlog. That is right. We're going back to Charlotte. We're going to watch Charlotte FC as they play CF Montreal. But I will see you guys then. Subscribe if you haven't already, as I said, and like the video. Peace.